Hi, this is Gary with MACMOST.com. Let me show you how to handle downloading files on an iPhone. MACMOST is brought to you thanks to a great group of more than 1,000 supporters. Go to MACMOST.com/Patreon. There you could read more about the Patreon campaign, join us, and get exclusive content and course discounts. So when you're downloading files on a computer, you're probably familiar with where those files go by default and how to deal with those files. But what about on an iPhone? When you download something from a web browser or perhaps an attachment in an email, where does that file go? And what if that file is a compressed zip file? How do you open it up to get to the contents? So let's start by going to a demo web page in Safari. I set this up and it's got two downloads on it. The first is a PDF file. This is a typical download that you may find online. Now if I click on the link to the PDF file, it's actually going to show me the PDF file in the web browser. So if my goal is to just view the file, I can do so right here in Safari. But if I want to download it, well then I'm going to have to use this button down here if I'm already viewing it. And there I can find an option to save to files. If I click that, then I get to decide where it goes. It's going to bring up a mini version of the Files app. And I can see all of the different things I have set up in the Files app. So in here I just have iCloud Drive and all the folders under iCloud Drive. And I can dig down in there and put it anywhere I want. I also have the local files on my iPhone here. You may find more, like you may have Dropbox or OneDrive or whatever else that you have installed. Once you select the location, you can click the Save button and it will save to wherever you want. So there's no mystery here as to where the file goes. You're actually putting it somewhere. But let's back up one level here. And let's say instead of just tapping on this link to view it, I'm going to tap and hold and it's going to bring up a preview. And then one of the options I have here is Download Linked File. So what if I did that? Then I'm going to remain here at the web page. Where did the file go? You may also encounter sometimes links just will automatically download. They won't let you view the PDF or whatever the file is right there in the browser. This is something that's set up on the server. It defines the file as a downloadable file, not as a viewable file. So in that case you end up in the same place. You tap and it doesn't seem to go anywhere, but you get an indication that the file's been downloaded. And in fact if you look at the very bottom here or at the top if you've got the address bar set to be at the top, you'll see this little indicator that there's been a download. If you tap that, then you'll get a bunch of options. And one of them is to view your downloads. So Safari on the iPhone has a downloads list just like Safari on the Mac. You tap that, you'll get this list. There's only one item in it now and you can see it here. You can tap right here and it will take you to where that is stored. As you can see here it's in the Downloads folder in the Files app. I'm actually in the Files app now. That's where it took me. I can go back up a level and you can see here is iCloud Drive and I was down in the Downloads folder. Now this is just a regular file sitting on my iPhone. Just like you would view a file in the Finder on the Mac. The Files app is the equivalent to the Finder but on the iPhone. If I were to tap here it's actually going to allow me to view the PDF right in the Files app. The Files app includes a PDF viewer. It will let you view other things as well like images and text documents and such. I could also tap and hold and get options like renaming it or moving it. If I select Move I can move this file to wherever I want. So if I want to get organized I can now move it into my Documents folder or wherever I think this file should go. I don't need to leave it there in the Downloads folder. In fact, if you want to stay organized, you probably shouldn't leave anything in your Downloads folder. Now back here in Safari we're still looking at the Downloads list again. And I can actually tap right here and it will allow me to view it in Safari. So without going to the Files app I can view some file types like PDFs and images and such right here from the Downloads list. I could also clear the Downloads list here if it's getting a little crowded. I can also swipe and delete like that. Now what if it's not a straightforward file like a PDF? What if in fact it's a compressed archive? It's a zip file and I've got one right here. I'm going to tap that and it's going to ask if I want to download it. I'll say sure. Now it'll download it. You actually saw the status there at the bottom. I can now tap here and go to Downloads and I could see that file's been downloaded. So right here from the Downloads list, if you were to tap the magnifying glass, you would again go to the Files app. And this is where you can actually decompress what's in the zip file. If I were to just tap it, it actually would decompress it. I get a folder there and I could dig down in the folder and see the contents. But I could also tap and hold here on the zip file. And one of the things I can do is quick look. And it's going to just show me the zip file. But notice I can preview content. I can actually go and look at the content in the zip file without decompressing it. So you can see it says 1 out of 3 and I could swipe to see the image. Here's a Word document and here's a PDF. You can see another option when I tap and hold is to uncompress the file. So that's the default behavior when I simply tap the zip file as well. But now that I've decompressed these, I have them in this folder here and I can see all these files. So I have a PDF here. I have an image like before. I even have a Microsoft Word document. And notice how the Files app will actually allow you to view the Word document. So the Files app not only allows you to see images and PDFs but other file types as well. Even Microsoft Word documents. Now what about email attachments? You may get an email with an attachment and in this case it's a zip file. So if I were to tap on it, it would actually preview it right here in Mail. I'm still in Mail and you can see it brings up that same quick look preview and I can even preview content. So you can preview the content of an email attachment that's compressed right in the Mail app. And notice how you can tap here when you're viewing just one of those documents and actually share that one document. So you don't have to decompress the entire thing or even save the attachment somewhere in order to get to the content inside the file. But what if you wanted to save this? Well, you can tap and hold and one of the options you'll have here is Save to Files. So when you select that, then you get to decide where it goes. Also note you have this list view down here at the bottom right. You can select that and you get a list of all the files inside of the zip file. Then you could jump right to any one of those. Handy if you have a zip file that has a ton of different things in it and you want to get to one specific thing. Now note there's some settings that you can adjust in the Settings app. If you go down to Safari, you can change the downloads location right here. So you could set it to the Downloads folder in iCloud Drive. You could set it to On My iPhone. You can choose Other and choose any location you want. So if there's a specific location that you'd rather have besides the Downloads folder, you could set the downloads to go there by default. You also have a setting right here for Remove Download List Items after 1 day, after a successful download, or only manually. So that's how you handle downloads on an iPhone, whether they're on a web page or in an email attachment. Thanks for watching. If you liked this video, click the thumbs up button below to let me know. I publish new tutorials each weekday. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out.